being into coke and crypto will make you pretty charismatic. That's a very specific type of person. Cocaine and crypto?
Tech bro.
Oh, they are con artists, is what they are.
You know who else are con artists? The fucking Girl Scouts.
I got you again?
No, they didn't get me again, but I do have to go back to get Samoas because I forgot them.
Oh no. All those Samoans, the Usos crying softly in the Girl Scouts trunk. Yokozuna.
Listen, if I could buy Jey Uso for $8...
Buy yourself a WrestleMania main event right there.
But they outlawed that in like the 1840s, I think.
Not if he does crimes. And you're a prison system. Hey, look into the abolition of slavery, people. After you enjoy this brand new episode of soon to be a Major Motion podcast.
Maybe we should edit out the part where we talk about slavery during Black History Month.
Should we? I think we should acknowledge Black history in that the slaves were freed, with the caveat that slavery is still legal in the U.S. prison systems. And that is further advancement for Black Futures Month that we need to acknowledge. Also, weirdly thematically tied to this week's episode. But before we get into that, I am one of your hosts, Billy Beck.
I am your other host, Cody Beck.
And this is the podcast where we read books that were turned into movies and watch movies that are based on books. I got all my shit in. Look at me go. Cody, how have you been since we last recorded?
Everything's on fire.
No, it's raining now. Everything's mudslides. Oh, not literal fire?
Not literal fire.
Okay.
Metaphorical fire.
You know, the weather changes so fast in LA these days.
The country is metaphorically on fire. Work is metaphorically on fire. It's fine. Everything is fine. We're all just gonna die. It'll be great. How about you?
So this past Sunday, my beloved Philadelphia Eagles took a trip to the Big Easy, New Orleans. And in the Superdome, they met the twice in a row Super Bowl champions Kansas City Chiefs, who in fact beat the Eagles for the first of those 2 years ago. Some of you may remember me telling stories of crying on my couch when I came to. But not this day. This past Sunday, my Philadelphia Eagles dog-walked the fucking Kansas City Chiefs. They sat those children down and showed them who daddy was. The lines left in that field from their dicks getting dragged in the dirt will remain for all eternity. It was 34-0 in the third fucking quarter.
Did they even score before the second string quarterback was brought in?
They did. They did. Hurts stayed in. But the Eagles played their fucking backup in the Super Bowl. Because they fucking could.
Can we also talk about a hater bowl?
Beforehand, do we want to talk about that thing about before the hater bowl, the Carson Wentz trade?
Oh, absolutely.
The Carson Wentz trade. Back the last time we won a Super Bowl, Carson Wentz took us most of the way, and then Big Dick Nick, Nicholas Foles, finished the job in the Super Bowl. Great thing. We traded Carson Wentz and got a handful of draft picks for him.
4, I believe, right?
At least 4. A.J. Brown, who scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Devontae Smith, who scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. And Cooper DeJean, who on his birthday intercepted a pass and scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
I believe the text message I got was in all caps, Cooper DeJean with a pick 6 on his birthday.
It was across like 4 or 5 different texts though. Because I was a menace.
Yeah, I asked him, I was like, am I being a bad wife if I leave during this game? He said, no, I understand. So I went grocery shopping and I did laundry.
And you came back, like, in the start of the third quarter, and it was just done.
Yep.
You stayed home.
Yep.
Because you knew it wasn't going to be a fucking problem.
Yep.
Ah, what a fucking day, man. Ah. But otherwise, I'm alright.
So, they were calling it the Hater Bowl, also, because of Kendrick Lamar performing at halftime. So, I know that I don't have the sport credentials that Stephen A. Smith, but I'm married, so I one-upped him there.
Brutal. Jesus. Out for blood.
So I just want to say, Serena Williams crip walking is fucking incredible.
Serena Williams crip walking to They Not Like Us.
Yes.
Sorry, Not Like Us is the name of the song. I'm white.
Yes. Kendrick Lamar's performance, I could watch it all day. Tiny man, Gemini. He has shown me avenues of hatred and spite. I aspire to this man's level of both Pulitzer Prize winning poetry and also just absolute concentrated hatred.
That man called Drake a pedophile so good they gave him a Grammy. And he performed it so well he might get an Emmy.
God, I hope so. I want him to EGOT with this song.
He's half an EGOT on fucking Not Like Us. Oh, what a great day. What a great day Sunday was.
I don't really...
Speaking of good days, speaking of
haters?
Speaking of hating, boy, does Roald Dahl hate kids.
Oh boy, he does. He hates kids and fat women.
Yep. And we got fat women, kids, fat kids, all up in this, John.
Yes.
This week we're finishing up our Roald Dahl series with his 1988 novel.
Yes, I believe it was the last one published in his lifetime.
And the subsequent 1996 film adaptation, Matilda. Before we go into what that's about, let's watch a trailer.
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Matilda
Hi, Dad.
Get in the car, Melinda.
Matilda!
Whatever.
who was extraordinary in every way.
Pretty soon you'll be able to do any multiplication, whether it's 2 times 7,
14!
or 13 times 379.
4,927. Wow.
She can multiply large sums in her head. So can a calculator.
But in a world where grown-ups make all the rules,
I'm smart. You're dumb.
I'm big and you're small.
I'm right.
And you're wrong.
in a school where the principal
In this school, I am God!
has no principles,
Yes, Miss Trunchbull! Sir! The Trunchbull used to be in the Olympics. Shot put, javelin, hammer throw.
she will discover
Somebody's gotta teach her a lesson.
deep inside herself
You should believe in whatever power you think you have inside of you.
a secret weapon
I said it was my powers.
to even the odds.
No more Miss Nice Girl.
Hey, dip face, have a carrot.
Nah, you eat it.
Now,
Cookie! You will not leave this platform until you have consumed the entire confection!
she gives power
You can do it, Brucey!
to the powerless, help to the helpless.
Harry, take your hat off.
I can't get it off.
And disaster to those who deserve it. From the author of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and James and the Giant Peach, and the unique vision
What did you do to your hair?
of director Danny DeVito, comes the story of every kid's right to stand tall, no matter how small. Matilda.
Matilda is a very special girl, born to a pair of neglectful assholes. After she's sent to a school principaled by the queen asshole Trunchbull, she meets a teacher named Miss Honey, who sees her for the special girl she is. During a particularly brutal tongue-lashing by Trunchbull, Matilda realizes she has telekinetic powers. She uses these to haunt Trunchbull's house and run her out of town under the guise of Honey's dead father, Magnus. In the end, Matilda's parents sign adoption papers to put her in the care of Miss Honey before they escape from the feds to Guam. Does that about cover what you read?
Yes, with as usual some specifics changed.
So what's different? So we're peel back the curtain a little bit here. You actually sat down and watched the movie with me last night because I couldn't, in good conscience, the week of Valentine's Day, say no, you can't watch this seminal childhood film.
Also, I had seen it before.
Exactly.
So first of all, I want to make a joke. This is literally Firestarter for children. And I can say that because Firestarter was written 4 years earlier.
All right.
So basically all of the events of the movie still happen in the book with one major change, which I assume is because of filming. So the biggest change is the book explicitly takes place in the UK, specifically England, and the movie takes place in America. Which I'm sure it's because of who was filming it. And
Are you telling me Danny DeVito's Jersey Films had a reason to set this in the United States?
Yes. So there is actually an additional thing that she does to her father, to her whole family, in the book that does not happen in the movie. So the first thing is, the first more minor change is the car dealership is one of the first things that happens. She sees her father at work and realizes that she can punish adults. It's the same scene where, What's Wrong with Watching TV? Mm-hmm. That happens basically within the same day. Another major change from the book to the movie is that in the book, she comes up with the idea of punishing her parents by herself. It is not an idea that is given to her by her father.
Mm-hmm. So that exchange with when a person is bad never happens?
Correct.
Okay.
She straight up just is ignoring the TV one night after the car dealership scene and the not being allowed to sit at the dining table and eat her dinner, and instead being forced to watch TV with the rest of the family. She literally is just sitting there and experiencing resentment and comes up with the idea that every time her father or mother is awful to her, she will come up with what's the word that I'm looking for? Faustian punishment for them?
Karmic retribution?
Yes. So the first one is the hat and the glue. Mm-hmm. The second thing, after he destroys the library book, which interestingly in the book is The Red Pony by John Steinbeck, and he destroys it because it's by an American, whereas in the movie it's Moby Dick.
And he destroys it because he thinks it's pornography?
Yes. She actually borrows a parrot from one of her friends and stuffs it up the chimney and uses it to convince her parents the house is haunted.
Huh?
Which, sidebar, that's actually another thing that's an important distinction from the book to the movie. Matilda has friends her age in the book. It's not that she's kept away from other children, it's that her parents really don't give a shit what she does. Mm-hmm. So she kind of just does whatever she wants to do. And most of the time that means going to the library. But, there's other little kids in the neighborhood that she plays with. And that's important because that's who she borrows the parrot from.
Ah.
The next thing that happens is the scene with the math, the arithmetic. Which in the book, they also lowered the numbers, which is funny considering that it was 8 years earlier, and they already had to inflate the numbers so much.
Well, British pounds as well.
That's true.
The British pound was worth a lot more, comparatively, in '88 than it is fucking now.
Fair enough. Just for funsies, I wrote it down. It was 4,303 pounds and 50 pence was his profit.
I'd still like to make $4,000 in a day.
Fair. Fair enough. And that's when the hair bleach happens. Whereas I believe in the movie, the hat and then the bleach are the only two things that happen. Like, she just fucks with his hair.
Like, she does them on the same day.
Yeah. That's another thing, too, is that the book is spread out over a little bit more time. And overall, her parents are less openly malicious in the book. They're more kind of just indifferent to her, except when he's mad. Her dad is mad, specifically. And that's the other thing, too, is her mom isn't really that bad in the book. She doesn't do any of the things that warrant the punishments. She's just kind of guilty by association because she does always side with her father.
Yeah.
Her mom doesn't even have a first name in the book.
She barely has a first name in the movie.
The next minor change is that Hortense, the
She's like 6 feet tall.
The senior girl, in the book, she's in 6th form, which I don't know how that translates. I don't know, fucking like 5th grade.
I'd say 5th grade.
She has this meeting with Matilda and Lavender when they're on the playground. Another, again, minor change is that Amanda Thripp is actually not one of the girl that gets thrown by her pigtails.
Yes, I know who that is.
She's actually like a 4th grader. She's not in Matilda's class. The Newt incident and the afternoon where she goes and has tea with Miss Honey, that's all the same day, which I don't know if it is the same day in the book or not. It is. The change is that, in the movie. In the movie, in the book, her powers work immediately. She's able to show Miss Honey that her powers work. And the other a minor change is that she spends a week practicing using her powers to be able to pull off the event.
Yeah.
That chases Trunchbull out. There's not the scene where they go into the house. There's not the scene where she steals the stuff from the house. It is just...
Oh, that's all for the movie.
That is all added for the movie.
Oh, that's some of the best stuff.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you would need to pad the runtime.
The chalkboard bit's probably like, the best part of that movie.
Yeah, it's real good.
Agatha. Just like a chorus of children chanting at this woman the words of her dead stepbrother-in-law. Or stepbrother?
It is.
It's his wife's
in the
stepsister.
movie, it's stepsister, which is playing on the evil stepsister trope.
Yeah.
It's just his wife's sister.
Okay.
In the book.
So his sister-in-law. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What a great scene.
That's one of the quotes that I saved because I wanted to show you the illustrations for that section. So I'm just gonna... The version of the book that I have is I believe the 2016 re-release with the updated... they're not... Sorry, not updated. Basically like the cleaned up illustrations. I'm just double checking. Yes, this was the 2016 edition with the illustrations by Quentin Blake. And so on page 214, they have the different sections with the book. And
like the chalkboard as the chalk is writing on it.
Yes.
That's fun.
It is very good. Also, the whole school doesn't rise up against Trunchbull. Straight up, just, she passes out after the ghost incident. They dump a bucket of water on her head, and then they bring in the other teachers, and the other teachers celebrate that someone has finally brought her down. And then they move her into the infirmary, and she basically wakes up, leaves, and no one ever sees her again. And mysteriously, her father's will appears, and all of the Miss Honey's father's will appears, and all of the money goes back to her. I don't know what they did as far as translation of wages in the... Like, how they calculated it in the movie. I think she says she rents it for $50 a month.
Yeah, she rents the house thing.
Yes.
The cottage.
Yes. The cottage in the book, she's renting for 10 pence a month.
But I read that in the book, Trunchbull is like withholding her wages as well, and she's basically working as slave labor.
She forced her to sign over the majority of her wages. She gets £1 a week.
See, I told you that conversation about how slavery is still legal in penitentiaries would come back.
Yes. And she has no running water. She has no furniture. She doesn't even properly bathe. She also only eats one meal a day. She eats at school, basically.
Oh.
Yes. Matilda's literally like, oh my god. Like, even the 5-year-old is like, Jesus Christ.
She is 6.5, Cody.
No, she's younger in the book.
Well, listen. I watched the movie, and Matilda is 6.5, which is about how old I was when Matilda came out.
I was 4.
I remember seeing this in theaters, because it's the day I committed my first crime.
Oh my god, tell the story!
So, I talked about my Aunt Barb in the past, and she was like my mom's best friend, not growing up, when I was growing up. And occasionally we would do something called, what'd she call it? Like surprise trips or secret nights or something. I don't remember what they were called. But every once in a while, Barb would show up and we would just go do something. Normally ended up at Dairy Queen. But this night we went to our local mall, which had a theater in it at the time, to see Matilda.
A mall is where stores were.
And before we went to the theater, we stopped in the Rite Aid or something in the mall. Because I guess Barb wanted to sneak in candy or something. And I saw a lollipop that I wanted and I picked it up. And then, time to go, and walked out holding the lollipop. We're like halfway across the mall before somebody realizes I'm holding something that wasn't paid for. So Barb walks us back to the Rite Aid, explains to the lady what happened, and then pays for the lollipop. Still had it. It was one of those big ones. It was grape. It's really good. And then we saw Matilda that night.
You hadn't even seen the movie yet, and you were already in the spirit.
Already. Ready to commit crimes. But yeah, to jump to the end a little bit, I love this movie. And you've told me a few times already that you love this book. Mm-hmm. And yet, Dahl's been kind of a miss for you every other time. And I want to know if we can figure out what is it about Matilda that hit us specifically so hard. Whereas, when I first saw Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, it didn't hit me, in the same spot as Matilda. And I was a bit older when I saw Fantastic Mr. Fox and BFG. So what is it about this one? Now, I have a theory, but I'm curious what your opinion is.
Not to steal a line from the movie, but why am I telling you this? Because you have a family that doesn't always appreciate you. And I just want you to know that it gets better. And one day, everything will be different.
Yeah, what was it I said while we were watching? They're this is what it's like to have an adult care about you.
I just wanted someone to notice me and think I was special and care about me. Oh, God.
Somebody saw my talents and said, great, and not, you could do better.
Or trying to quash them down.
So I actually wrote out a thing. I wrote 2 essays, mini essays, esslets for this episode.
Okay, please share your esslet.
So, I hate that is sticking. We joke that Roald Dahl hates kids, and many of his stories feature children trying to survive shitty adults. The good adults, at least so far that we've seen in this, I'm gonna discount Fantastic Mr. Fox here, but the good adults are usually authority figures separated from the children by social structures like the Queen and BFG, or the nice policeman at the end of James and the Giant Peach. Matilda, however, the kind of adult isn't a deus ex machina at the end. It's Miss Honey. She's introduced early in the story. Her background is also one of abuse, so she can relate to Matilda. And in the end, she becomes Matilda's adoptive mother. And like I said, this movie spoke to me as a child because as bad as things were for Matilda, between her parents' neglect and Trunchbull's violence, there was still an adult who saw Matilda's gifts and sought to nourish them and help Matilda grow into the best person she could be. And we joke that Dahl hates kids, but in the story he shows that he knows that children can be very special and that adults need to recognize their ability and agency and encourage their growth.
I also think it's interesting that in this one, Matilda is explicitly the savior. She saves Miss Honey. Mm-hmm. And to an extent, this also happens in James and the Giant Peach. He saves all of the bugs who are kind of more adult-like figures, but they're still bugs.
Yeah.
And he's a person.
Like,
this is objectively a kindergartner resolving the crisis of an adult woman. I think she says she's 23.
Yeah. It's funny you bring that up because I thought about the bugs in James and the Giant Peach as well as adults. Mm-hmm. And in the movie, they're certainly, like, coded that way. They have wisdom and experience. But, A, they're still ostensibly bugs. They're going to be treated the same way as James is when they're out of the peach.
Yeah.
And B, James still doesn't have a lot of agency there. Considering most of the time he spends with the bugs, at least in the film, they're just at the whims of the seagulls and whoever's flying the thing trying to get to New York, and he's just along for the ride. Here, Matilda, like, she comes up with the plan. As soon as she realizes she's boned, Trunchbull's gonna get her, she's like, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. What did he called her? Agatha, right? Okay, and she called him Magnus? Cool. All right, and what was his name for you? Bumblebee? Bumblebee, got it. Like, she just gets the information she needs as Honey is panicking. Because, like you said, she's the one who solves the problem. And that really fucking hit as a kid who grew up being told, like, you have to, it's a miracle you're on this planet, you have to do something great with your life, and that's a lot of pressure to put on a child. And then when I try to do my best, and I actually do my best, and I get met with sucks. So
I'm gonna read a little quote from the point where Matilda decides that she can punish her parents and it's okay. So this is from page 22 and 23. Matilda didn't trust herself to answer him, so she kept quiet. She could feel the anger boiling up inside her. She knew it was wrong to hate her parents like this, but she was finding it very hard not to do so. All the reading she had done had given her a view of life that they had never seen. If they only would read a little Dickens or Kipling, they would soon discover there was more to life than cheating people and watching television. Another thing, she resented being told constantly that she was ignorant and stupid when she knew she wasn't. The anger inside her went on boiling and boiling, and as she lay in bed that night, she made a decision.
Ooh, sure sounds like the childhood of an undiagnosed autistic that masks well and does good in school.
What?
Why did I like this movie so much as a kid?
Yeah, what could possibly appeal to us, to semi-disenfranchised children who were considered gifted and therefore kind of isolated from other children in a weird way? What could possibly have appealed to us about that?
I had a crush on young Mara Wilson. Oh, was there more to that, or?
To be fair, she was very adorable.
She's such a cutie.
Yeah.
And now as an adult, Miss Honey's where it's at.
So, I actually had something related to Miss Honey and the use of Matilda as, like, the savior figure.
Okay.
Is what Miss Honey puts on her fair? Because, yes, Miss Honey is objectively the only useful adult in this whole book. Like, her parents suck. Her brother is a non-entity. Mm-hmm. Miss Trunchbull obviously sucks. But even Miss Honey uses Matilda. And they kind of touch on that in the book, because when she's telling her the story, she's like, or when she is getting ready to tell her the story, she's basically like, maybe I wanted you to figure it out.
I don't know, because that doesn't really exist in the movie in the same way. Everything is Matilda solving Honey's dilemma, essentially.
Yeah.
All comes at Matilda's go. Honey outright, like, she refuses to go in the house when they sneak into the house the first time. She scolds her for going back to the house the next day. And she's so distraught, basically, during the climax, that Matilda just takes control without Honey influencing it in any way. The only real influence she does is give Matilda someone to protect.
Have you said or used the phrase generational trauma yet?
No. Should we talk about the generational trauma?
Because I was just thinking, even though Miss Honey is objectively the best adult figure in Matilda's life, she's still not perfect. And also, I get that she's fucking 23, but she still makes mistakes. Because I do think that what she puts on this child, I keep saying the word objective, what she puts on this 5 to 6 year old child is heavy. It's the experience that she went through. And it's basically like Matilda, I think to an extent, Matilda kind of sees what her life would be like if she didn't come up with the idea of fighting back. And obviously it was a little different because Miss Honey had an adult figure that cared about her. Her father did care about her.
He just kind of left the picture under mysterious circumstances when she was 5.
I forgot they straight up say suicide in the book. That was the first time I learned about that.
Oh, yeah. That didn't clock with me when I was a child.
Yeah. But to go to generational trauma, even though they are both in a way breaking, like, even though she has kind of gotten free, she's still stuck under Miss Trunchbull's thumb.
Yeah, free is a...
Yeah, she's not in the same house, but she's still trapped.
Yeah.
And Matilda is the one who finally, like, comes along and actually legitimately breaks both of them out of their cycles.
Yeah. And I think part of that is because Honey is not a flawed person, but a person with flaws. And she expresses those flaws. She expresses that vulnerability to Matilda. Matilda is able to understand that, oh, she is just like me. She's just a grown-up child. And adults are just, kids in the future, right? And she still sees that childhood, like, that love of childhood, that, like, naive joy of youth in Honey, in a way, even if she's, like, exasperated half the time.
Yeah.
Like, she still sees that in there. And to me, it reads like Matilda treats Honey more like a best friend than, like, a parental figure. You know what I mean? But also 23, and this kid's 6, and she adopts her. People are going to have questions. People are going to do some math and have some questions.
To be fair, she at this point, she's independently wealthy. And everyone in the village knows who the Trunchbull is and what happened.
That's true.
So, I'm going to read the description of Miss Honey. Their teacher was called Miss Honey, and she could not have been more than 23 or 24. She had a lovely pale oval Madonna face with blue eyes, and her hair was light brown. Her body was so slim and fragile, one got the feeling that if she fell over, she would smash into 1,000 pieces, like a porcelain figure. Miss Jennifer Honey was a mild and quiet person who never raised her voice and was seldom seen to smile, but there is no doubt she possessed that rare gift for being adored by every small child under her care. She seemed to understand totally the bewilderment and fear that so often overwhelm young children who for the first time in their lives are herded into a classroom and told to obey orders. Some curious warmth that was almost tangible shone out of Miss Honey's face when she spoke to a confused and homesick newcomer to the class. Oh, she relates well to children because she relates well to small, scared children because she was a small, scared child?
She still is a small, scared child. She's just been a small, scared child for 18 years.
Yep. Whee! Cycles of abuse.
Yeah. Speaking of cycles of abuse, I like where they put the camera.
Well, scale.
Yeah. So, I brought this up while we were watching last night, and then immediately shut up and wrote it down so I can talk about it now. The placement of camera in this movie, and part of it is a symptom of the early to mid 90s and like the overuse of wide angle and fisheye lens and Dutch angles and stuff like that. But from jump in this movie, the camera is placed so low. It's placed at Matilda's eye level pretty much from the start. So you're always looking, when you're looking up at Danny DeVito, the camera is low to the ground, right? And as a kid, I never noticed that, but as an adult, immediately clocked that of like, I'm back in the shoes of this child.
Yeah. And I mentioned, too, that they play with scale. The Quentin Blake, the illustrator, plays with scale a lot, too. Like, I'm showing an illustration of the librarian, Mrs. Phelps, and Matilda. Matilda doesn't even reach the top of the bottom shelf.
If this woman is a normal, like, height, let's say 5'3", Matilda is about 8 inches tall.
Yes. And then later, they're all sitting in front of the TV, and it goes in order from largest to smallest. And of course, Mrs. Wormwood in the book is fat, and Mr. Wormwood is a skinny, ratty man, and then you have Michael, and then Matilda, who is the very smallest.
And she's like her head is barely above the armrest on the chair that she is sharing with Michael.
Yeah.
She is that small.
Yeah, they are not even on a couch, they are on a chair.
And that's another point I had about the camera placement, is it doesn't just show how physically small she is in this world, it shows how, like, belittled she is, especially at the beginning. As you get closer to the end, the camera gets higher until she's spinning Trunchbull on the globe, and the camera's on the fucking ceiling looking straight down at Trunchbull. Because even though she's physically small, she has the power in the scene.
Yes.
And I always love when a cinematographer just goes that little extra mile, little extra steps with his shot composition, just to help tell the story a little bit.
I am looking for another illustration to show how small Matilda is in comparison.
While you're looking, I did have a question about the book.
Yes.
The film is narrated. Who is the narrator of the book? And are the narrated lines from the movie straight from the text?
They are not. They are close approximations, but the narrator is kind of like it is in the movie, in that it's sort of a disconnected third party.
Okay.
So I'm gonna show another scale. It's like, this is one where it's like kind of explicitly Roald Dahl himself telling the story. It's actually kind of similar to those shorts on Netflix.
Okay.
So this is Matilda and Lavender and Hortensia. So Matilda and Lavender are basically waist high for this, 6th grader. Mm-hmm. And then on the next page, this is the Amanda Thripp incident. On the next page or so...
As you flip 3, 4, 5 pages.
Yeah, I thought it was closer than that. It's not. When you get to Amanda Thripp and Trunchbull, Amanda Thripp is much taller than Matilda and Lavender through what we've seen.
And she's up to Trunchbull's knees.
Yeah. And how much of this playing with scale has to do with the fact that this is actually how big this woman is versus how everyone views her?
Yeah. It seems like the Quentin Blake, the illustrator, and DeVito with his direction, and the cinematographer, whose name's escaping me, with his shot composition, are playing the same game with perspective and scale. Yeah. Which I like. It's an extra layer that makes this such a treat to watch. And I'm vamping until I can type in Matilda into IMDb and name and not shame the fucking cinematographer. No, I don't want Danny DeVito.
He's not the cinematographer?
Wouldn't that be great? Stefan Chapsky. He also did Ed Wood and Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, is that why Nightmare Before Christmas was randomly in the fucking trailer?
This came out the same year as James and the Giant Peach, and if James and the Giant Peach is going to use Nightmare Before Christmas movie music for its trailer, then Matilda can too.
Sure.
Even though it's not owned by the same people. That was weird, right?
Yeah, that was weird.
I don't get that.
I also don't get that.
Weird.
Maybe they're like trying to tie together that this is also the James and the Giant Peach guy.
Same. But Nightmare Before Christmas is not like from the guy. Here's music from the guy making the other movie. Please watch ours. Like, were they trying to trick people into thinking this was the Henry Selick movie?
Maybe.
But they said in the voiceover from the mind of Danny DeVito. Were they trying to claim Danny DeVito made Nightmare Before Christmas?
Maybe? I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird
odd.
choice.
What an odd choice.
So, another thing that was kind of an interesting choice. In the book, Matilda loses the ability to use her magic. Mm-hmm. I'm putting magic in quotes here. Because Miss Honey basically theorizes that her power comes from the fact that she's so bored in kindergarten that all of this extra mental energy just bursts out of her. And allows her to... She describes it as kind of all of these little arms, like shooting out of her eyeballs and pushing things over, doing whatever she wants with them. And in the end of the book, when she does end up getting moved up to the top form, she says, she tells Miss Honey, she's like, I tried to move something with my mind and I couldn't do it. And Miss Honey's like, well, you're actually having to like strive to keep up with these other kids now. So you're using all of your mental energy to keep up with them. And so you don't have the extra energy to go anywhere with it. Whereas in the movie,
she just kind of loses her reason to use her powers. I do like that she still has access to them in the movie. Because as a kid, I used to wonder, like, what other adventures will she get into? Like, what if Trunchbull comes back? She can protect Miss Honey. Like, she's still strong. And thank God she's kind.
Or we'd be looking at an episode of The Boys.
This would be the fucking Twilight Zone, not Roald Dahl.
Speaking of Twilight Zone, you want to talk about how Trunchbull straight up says in front of children that she will break Miss Honey's arm?
Yes.
She waterboards her in the book.
What?
It doesn't explicitly describe the abuse, but Miss Honey says that when she was little, Trunchbull would make her take her baths by herself, and if she didn't think that she had cleaned well enough, she would hold Miss Honey's head under the water.
That's not waterboarding, Cody. That's drowning.
Fair enough. Clickbait. Clickbait sentence 45 minutes into this podcast.
If something about in the description mentions waterboarding, you know why we're here.
But the Trunchbull character and the actual like torture and violence and all the other like crazy acts that she commits. You good?
I'm bleeding so much.
Why are you bleeding?
Because I'm picking at my wounds.
Stop doing that.
No.
Also, Toby, stop scratching your father.
I'm fidgeting. See, I wish when I was in kindergarten and bored out of my mind, I could do magic powers instead of just fidgeted to the point where I annoyed people.
So, there's actually an analogy in this book that I have used multiple times to describe bosses and how bananas and how they get away with it. And it's kind of similar to the sunk cost fallacy, but it's on page 111 of my copy. And it is after they witness the Trunchbull throwing Amanda Thripp over the fence. How can she get away with it? Lavender said to Matilda. Surely the children go home and tell their mothers and fathers. I know my father would raise a terrific stink if I told him the headmistress had grabbed me by the hair and slung me over the playground fence. No, he wouldn't, Matilda said, and I'll tell you why. He simply wouldn't believe you. Of course he would. He wouldn't, Matilda said, and the reason is obvious. Your story would sound too ridiculous to be believed, and that is the Trunchbull's great secret. What is? Lavender asked. Matilda said, never do anything by halves if you want to get away with it. Be outrageous. Go the whole hog. Make sure everything you do is so completely crazy it's unbelievable. No parent is going to believe this pigtail story, not in a million years. Mine wouldn't. They'd call me a liar. Do you think she's mad? Lavender asked. Who? The Trunchbull. No, I don't think she's mad, Matilda said, but she's very dangerous. Being in this school is like being in a cage with a cobra. You have to be very fast on your feet.
Nowadays, they just call it flooding the zone, and it's what the current administration is doing.
Thanks, Steve Bannon.
Fucking President Trunchbull up here.
He's not physically strong enough.
No, he's closer to Brucey than the Trunchbull, let's be honest.
So, that's actually something interesting that I think the movie did in comparison to the book. Mm-hmm. The book is more explicitly it's more explicitly man versus one enemy. It's Matilda versus Trunchbull. And, like, Matilda versus her parents, but it's more Matilda versus Trunchbull. Whereas the book is more children versus Trunchbull.
The book is or the movie
Sorry,
is?
The movie is.
Okay.
The movie is more everyone against Trunchbull, and you're kind of getting rid of this menace. And Matilda's just the one who finally encourages other people to do so. Mm-hmm. And it's more kind of a don't blindly listen to authority or they'll get away with things.
It didn't come up in my research, but I wonder if any of that was like influenced by production and distributors wanting, like, being worried about a female lead, you know? Like, all right, well, we got to get a boy in here. We'll add a boy to the thing so the boys can, and we'll put a black girl in here, and we'll, you know, like, I wonder how much of it was that as well, like, just a...
I also thought that was interesting, like, where does this take place? Like, obviously it's in America, but the aesthetic is kind of all over the place, and I feel like that's on purpose because they couldn't... But you've got, like, her house is mid-century modern.
Yeah.
It's, like, kind of 70s. And then you have the Trunchbull, who's in, like... She is explicitly wearing a 1972 Olympics sweater.
Yeah, it takes place in 1996.
But she's also, like, that aesthetic of the belt and the pants and the smock is also very 50s.
Yeah.
And then Miss Honey is kind of not even an era, but she's sort of just like nature vibes. She's very cottagecore.
She's child of hippie.
Yeah.
It is an interesting aesthetic, but because the film is like a magical realism, I mean, she's literally like, this woman is javelining children out a window, and this little girl is telekinetically flying them around, doing loop-de-loops, and then shooting them back in the window. By the way, Amanda Thripp.
Yes.
In the movie, Matilda definitely nudges her to get her over that fence, right?
You know, I don't know.
It's a thought I had last night. I'm not. They cut back to her eyes for like one shot as she's approaching like the top of the fence, and I think at this point she's blown up the TV.
She has.
So she's starting to realize maybe I can do something, and then the newt is when she realizes, oh, I did do it.
Yeah. Because
instead of saying it wasn't me, she says I didn't move.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, so she knows it was her, but
yes,
you can't prove it. Is how that reads. But anyway, back to magical realism.
Yes.
Kind of like Taymor's Titus.
Yeah.
It kind of takes place in different eras with different aesthetics, but it's fine because they're telling you more about the characters quickly.
It's anachronistic on purpose.
Exactly. Like, you know who Honey is because of the way that she dresses and where she lives. Mm-hmm. And you get more you get more energy about what Trunchbull might do based on how she lives and how she looks and all that. So like, I don't mind that as a storytelling choice.
Yeah, I don't either. I thought it was an interesting choice. It's also cheaper to do it that way.
Yeah, because then you just find any location that looks the way you want it to look and shoot there. It doesn't have to match. Mm-hmm. It's not like that scene in Scott Pilgrim. The joke when he's showing her his apartment and he's like, you want to see where I grew up? And then they turn around and it's across the street.
Yeah.
But to get a house that looked exactly like they wanted it to look like it is in the same neighborhood, it was like 3 miles away. But I digress. Anything else you had from the book you want to bring up?
The entire subplot with the FBI agents.
Oh my god.
Not in the book.
Okay.
It is clear that her father is doing things that are shady. And I think it's like, obviously her dad's doing some weird shit with the cars that you see. There's the stuff where when Miss Honey comes to see them, she mentions about if somebody sued you for their car being garbage.
Mm-hmm. And he freaks out.
He does not freak out in the book.
Oh.
And then the ending where Miss Honey is like, yeah, no, that actually tracks. And they're like, wait, what? Also, it's not Guam in the in the book. It is Spain. They are fully pulling a Brexit.
At the time, still part of the EU. Wouldn't have worked. I think it's funnier that they escaped to Guam because they think that's a different country. It is still a U.S. territory. Mm-hmm. They will still get caught.
Also, they're speedboat salesmen.
Oh my god. They have like a single model of a speedboat. He's holding a tape recorder in his hand. as she's talking about, like, buying stolen car parts.
And all of his offshore bank accounts.
And then he comes in, thinks she's cheating, and he refers to them as, like, scantily clad, and they're just wearing, like, 50s FBI suits with suspenders. He's like, these strapping Adonises of men are here, and it's fucking Paul Rubens, like...
And Matilda is literally like, they're cops.
She keeps saying they're cops, and the cops are like, oh no. They never get fucking caught.
It's the female minor.
It's the female minor. Oh god, I love it. Anything else you want to talk about from the book?
No,
Before I go into...
I think I covered... Excuse me.
You had some notes today, dude.
I did. The only other note, and this is just something that I thought it was funny, because now I know what this is. They mentioned Bovril.
Ah! Oh, Bovril, the Christmas present you're not gonna get.
Oh.
Yeah, they canceled the order.
If you're in the UK, send me Bovril.
I'll find it somewhere. I'll find it for you. Not in the movie as Bovril, because it was directed by an American, Danny DeVito.
Hell yeah, Danny.
He also directed Throw Mama from the Train and Death to Smoochie.
We talked about how he declined James and the Giant Peach for Matilda, right?
I believe we brought that up during James and the Giant Peach, yes.
Yeah.
Also brought up during either James and the Giant Peach or the BFG. Writer number 1, Nicholas Kazan, who also wrote Bicentennial Man and a movie called Enough that my sister had on DVD. And it's about a woman who, like, learns how to fight to get revenge on a sexual predator, I think.
Neat.
Yeah. Fun little movie. He's also the son of Elia Kazan.
Sure.
Because, you know, Nepo babies. The other writer was his wife at some point. I don't remember when they got married, but they got married. Robin Swicord, who also wrote Little Women and Practical Magic.
Which Little Women?
The 94.
Oh, okay.
Matilda was played by Mara Wilson. More on her later. Miss Honey was played by Embeth Davidtz, who was also in Schindler's List and Bicentennial Man. Perfect. She's not the perfect woman. I'm sorry to break this to you, babe. She's of South African descent, and she's white. So you know there's some racism in there.
According to Mara, she's very nice.
I believe she's very nice. Just in her family history. She's grown up during apartheid. Let's just...
I was gonna say, you're getting a little sins of the father here, babe.
A little bit. Sorry, it's my evangelical upbringing. Forgive me. Because I sure won't. Trunchbull was played by Pam Ferris, who was also in Death to Smoochie.
Oh.
And she played a lady named Aunt Marge in some HP piece of shit. Harry, Mr. Wormwood, was played by Danny DeVito, who is also in the films Twins and Batman Returns. You know who fucking Danny DeVito is.
I love that those are the two credits you grabbed. The two, like, most obscure.
Because you fucking know who Danny DeVito is. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Jimmy John's ads. What do you want me to fucking say?
I did the poops. I did them because poops are funny.
He was right. Mrs. Wormwood, Zinnia, was played by Rhea Perlman, best known for Cheers. She's also in Barbie.
She was on Cheers?
For like 11 years.
Damn, I did not realize.
Yeah. That was like her deal. We also had...
they were married at the time. They are no longer married.
They are still married. They are no longer together.
Oh.
I did look that up.
Oh, weird.
But yes, at the time, they were an actual husband and wife, which I love it. Brief cameos, I already mentioned Paul Rubens. Pee Wee Herman was one of the FBI agents. And a host on a TV show, Sticky with Mickey, was played by John Lovitz.
Weirdly love John Lovitz in this house.
What's not to love?
Give my wife the old pickle tickle and then I'm on my way.
He's losing his mind. And I'm reaping the benefits.
Has there been a more character actor?
Oh, I fucking love me some Johnny Lovitz. I said more on Mara Wilson later. Cody, this movie's over 20 years old. Oh my god, it's almost 30 years old. Mm-hmm. This movie's over 20 years old and featured child actors. You know what that means.
Where are they now?
Matilda was played by Mara Wilson, who left film acting in 2000 after Thomas and the Magic Railroad. She left the public eye, finishing high school and college, before re-emerging in 2012 in various online content. Since then, she's written articles and books on her experiences, as well as working with Project, I don't know if it's UROC or UROK, I don't know how they pronounce it, but it's a nonprofit that helps teens with mental illness. And thank God she is not in any contact with her cousin Ben Shapiro, because fuck Ben Shapiro. I know you know more about Mara Wilson now than I do. What would you like to add?
I would like to add, I have read her, I don't want to call it a memoir, but it is technically a memoir because it's more of an autobiography. It's
same thing.
Yeah. And she actually talks about what it was like being a child actor, what it was like losing her mom, which the dedication to this film gutted me at the end because it's dedicated to her mom. She talks about going to high school and how she was bullied by show choir girls and ended up going to basically like a private performing arts high school. She went to the high school directly behind where I work. Don't look that up.
Please don't look that up.
She also she now does a lot more voice acting stuff. I don't know the name of the character off the top of my head, but she was a spider in BoJack Horseman.
Yes.
Season 4?
I don't recall.
Yeah. But at this point, she's done like a bunch of voice acting work. I also read the diary, quote unquote, that she kept while she was filming Matilda. And so there's like a bunch of little fun stories in there, like the Amanda Thripp scene. She talks about how she was jealous of the actress playing Amanda because she was so calm and cool as she was getting strapped into the rig to get thrown. And she talked about how Danny DeVito and Rhea were actually very nice and they had a house full of books, which I just thought was a fun thing. But yeah, apparently she spent a significant amount of time with them during filming because her mom was
in the hospital and her father was at work. So
Yeah.
DeVito and Perlman would take her home.
Yes.
And be better parents than they portrayed in the film.
She also, in her book, she does have some struggles with her mental health. She has pretty severe contamination OCD, I believe. So, yeah, she is very well qualified to talk about mental health struggles and helping teens with them.
I had something about her mental health struggles. She discovered her OCD and anxiety while reading a book called Kissing Doorknobs. And it was years later until she found out that book was written by the mother of the girl who played Hortensia.
Oh. You know what? I think she brings that up.
I bet she does.
In her book.
Speaking of Hortensia, Michael, her older brother, was played by Brian Levinson. His final acting role was a 1997 episode of Seinfeld, just a year later, after which he spent 9 years in the Marine Corps. Well, not immediately after which. He's since gotten married, and he's now an event promoter in San Diego.
Oh, that's neat.
Lavender was played by Kiami Dabiel, and she continued acting after her debut in Matilda until a film called Bruno in 2000. Not the Sacha Baron Cohen Bruno.
I assumed not.
She ended up getting a degree in psychology and theater and is again pursuing arts and music.
Neat. She's very charming in this movie.
She is great. Amanda Thripp was played by Jacqueline Steger, who, like the others, acted until about 2001. When she went to finish school. She has degrees from UCLA in linguistics and anthropology.
Okay.
And the way she words it is continues to do nerd shit in adulthood. She has at least one YouTube series that I found. Her, like, Instagram profile has her fucking D&D mods in her bio. And she's, like, a regular at San Diego Comic-Con. She seems like a joy to be around.
She strikes me as a very, like, Carrie Fisher, this is my fucking, I do this once a year and it pays for my rent so I can do other weird shit.
She's enjoying doing shit. It's great. Brucey was played by Jimmy Cars. He later appeared in ER and The Wedding Singer. Did we just mention The Wedding Singer? Or was I just thinking about it?
We did the quote from John Lovitz.
That's what it was. Okay. He left acting to continue his education. He went to the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine and is now a doctor. And also, he looks great. He does not grow up to look like an adult version of Bruce.
All
He
right.
looks like he is an adult.
I mean, he was a cute kid.
Yeah, just chonky.
Yes.
That cake didn't help. So I was mad because I found like an Entertainment Weekly, I think, article that I was like, oh, here's my fucking source for this section. It's just where are they now of actors from the Matilda film in like 2024. I'm like, it's recent, it's everybody. And as I'm scrolling, it's like, where's Danny DeVito now? Really? Fucking on my TV. Where's Rhea Perlman now? Probably like on my TV somewhere. Where's Mara Wilson? Okay, I know Mara Wilson. Does Lavender. And then I was like, oh, good, here's Bruce. It's not Bruce. It's where's the chocolate cake now? For Bruce, they did a fucking joke. Like, are you fucking kidding me? So, the rest of these were a little harder to find info on. But Bruce, that's how I found out about Bruce. And then Hortensia was played by Kira Spencer Hesser, now Kira Cook. After Matilda, she finished her education like everybody else and returned to screen acting in the 20-teens. She's since won an Emmy for hosting a show called Islands Without Cars on PBS. Yeah. She's married and has 2 children.
That's neat.
And like we said, her mom wrote Kissing Doorknobs.
That's really neat.
And I had thought... the reason I wanted to keep bringing up that they're finishing their education is... Like, I knew who Mara Wilson was as a child because of this movie and Miracle on 34th Street and... What was the other big one she did that I watched a lot? I don't remember. And I used to avidly read through college into, like, adulthood, the website Cracked. Until, like, they sold off fired all the good talent. And she reemerged when she wrote an article about growing up as a child actor. And I think it was just to promote her book.
Yeah.
So I think it was the same year. But that's the first I saw her since, fucking Matilda. And, like, that sits with me so hard, the way that she described how she didn't have to go through puberty in the public eye because she quit right when that was starting. And how difficult education was, and how so many child actors, like, don't finish their educations, they burn out, they do drugs and shit like that. And we were joking last night that, like, our dark humor that we do, how many of the kids I look up are no longer with us. And I am pleasantly surprised to see everyone still alive. At least of, like, the main children. I didn't look up all the extras, obviously.
Yeah, there's so many extras.
One of those extras I do want to bring up. He's the kid who catches the newt.
Okay.
Did you recognize him?
He had a face. Like, he had, like, there's a reason they picked me for this shot face.
That was Craig Lamar Taylor, also known as Stevie on Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh my god.
This was his film debut.
Wait, is he actually disabled?
I didn't look that up.
Oh.
I should have.
Oh.
But I didn't. And I'm not going to.
For the record, this is just a fun little joke. Mara Wilson's book is called Where Am I Now? And it has a picture of her as Matilda.
Yes. It's like a modern picture of her, but doing the Matilda thing, right?
No, the version... I mean, I'm sure there's a cover of it, but the one that I borrowed from the library, and I read this like a couple years ago, is straight up just a picture of her in the Matilda outfit.
You know what, though? Since I brought it up, let's do a Where Are They Now that is sad. Trunchbull's house is a house known as the Crank House, and it was also featured in Scream 2. It was a sorority house. And it was the house in Catch Me If You Can. I think it's the one he goes to at the end.
Oh no, did it burn down?
In the Eden Fire. Yeah. As soon as I saw like the Crank House in Altadena, I was like, fuck. Is it still there? It's not still there.
I believe the house that Matilda was filmed in, like the actual house, I believe that's also gone. Because I think it was turned into something for one of the local schools, because there was someone at work was talking about how they were disappointed when they tore it down.
Yeah, that sounds right. I think most of the rest of this was shot on sets, except for the library. It was the Pasadena Library.
Yeah, I think it was the Pasadena Library is so pretty.
It's gorgeous. That's why they would use it. This is a film glorifying reading.
Specifically, I'm talking about the exterior. The house that was used for those exteriors.
No, I know what you mean. I was thinking of other locations, but I think even the school exterior was a set.
Yeah, that was a set-ass set.
Yeah, it was a set-ass set.
It looks like a factory.
Yeah. On that set asset, the portrait of Magnus, you were saying it looked like Jimmy Stewart?
Yes.
It's Roald Dahl.
Oh.
And I know you caught this last night, but Honey's childhood toy, her Lissy doll, is named after Roald Dahl's widow, Lissy Dahl.
Felicity Dahl. She was on the... She was a producer, right?
She was one of the producers, yes.
Now, is that just because of the estate? Whatever, or do you...
Probably. They may have gotten the rights cheaper by giving her producer credit or something like that. That kind of shit happens all the time. I didn't look too deeply into that. I just saw that she was, like, I think an EP. It could also mean, like, she has that title just so she can have some say, or because she has say in how the story is portrayed.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting that this movie was made after he died.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder how much of that was influenced in that way. I am checking to see if there's a dedication in this one. The dedication in this one is for Michael and Lucy, who I believe are his great-grandchildren.
Jesus.
Yeah. Or, sorry, his grandchildren, not his great. His children's children.
We went through the cast and crew. Do you want to hear some alternates for the cast and crew?
Oh, wait, were no menaces on set?
You know what? No real menaces on set, except for the stunt team. Because Pam Ferris, who played Miss Trunchbull, was injured twice, at least, on set. She had to keep her eyes open while she was being berated by those chalk erasers, and had to go to the hospital to get the chalk dust flushed out of her eyes.
Oh, God, poor woman.
And when she was swinging poor Amanda Thripp around on her pigtails, her harness had wires running up from the harness into the pigtails onto Trunchbull's fingers. And they tightened because of the centripetal force and took off a chunk of her finger.
Oh. Wait, why did she have to keep her eyes open? Just because of the shot, or?
I assume it was because she was still acting through, like, she still was doing action in the scene. Like, she had to be able to see. Mm-hmm. That had to suck. That had to be a real rough day of filming. Mm-hmm. You know what else was a real rough day of filming?
Yes.
The chocolate cake.
Oh, God.
And when I say a real rough day, I mean 3 fucking weeks.
3 weeks to have that many children in a room together?
It took so long to shoot that scene that on the call sheets for the day, you've seen call sheets before, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know what a call sheet is, Google what a call sheet is, but it's basically who needs to be where when on a movie set. The start and end times were listed as infinity symbols.
You know that PA was tired.
Bro, they were all tired. Fucking Brucey, oh God, what is his fucking name? Jimmy Cars. They had to, for continuity's sake, paint chocolate on his face every morning to match the shot. His clothing was crusted in old chocolate all the time. Oh. He couldn't smell chocolate without getting sick.
I worked at a bakery for 1 summer, and it took 3 years before I wanted to eat a cookie again.
Yeah. Anyway, we were talking about alternate casting and stuff.
Yes, alternate cast.
We'll start with alternate directors. Richard Donner of Superman fame, and Robert Zemeckis of Back to the Future fame.
I think Zemeckis would have gone too grown up with it.
Yeah. He wouldn't quite have had the edge that DeVito gave it.
Yeah, it needed to be a little wackier than Zemeckis goes.
Yeah. Zemeckis is too, like, clean. And Donner's too, like, fanciful.
Yeah, Donner's too nice.
Although I'm just thinking specifically Superman.
Yeah.
I know he's done more, and I know I've seen more. It's just been a long day.
Yeah.
Other names for Miss Trunchbull, we talked last week about Miriam Margolyes.
Yes.
Maggie Kirkpatrick, Magda Szubanski, and Kathy Bates.
She does Pam Ferris has kind of a Kathy Bates type.
Yeah, like Kathy Bates' Misery.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be too easy to make a joke, though.
Yeah.
Alternates for Miss Honey. Tori Amos.
Okay.
Helen Hunt.
Yeah, I can see that.
Winona Ryder.
Okay, hot take. I don't think so. Especially not at that time. She had too much of the stink of Beetlejuice.
Okay. And my favorite, Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh God. No, she's too wacky. Emmett Davids is perfect.
Yeah. Oh, no, I think that casting is perfect. Rosie O'Donnell dropped out to do Harriet the Spy, alongside an alternate for Matilda, Michelle Trachtenberg.
Interesting, because Michelle Trachtenberg feels older than Mara Wilson, which I get Harriet the Spy is also, like, older, but, like, interesting.
Who Danny DeVito wanted, however, were the Queen twins themselves, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
The Olsen twins?
He wanted the Olsen twins.
No. They're too cute, and they're too actor.
I feel like they were too big.
Like, if you were gonna get an Olsen, get Elizabeth.
Because, like...
But I think she was too young at that time.
Yeah. The reason the Olsens didn't do it was they were doing It Takes Two at the time. But, like, at that time, until It Takes Two, an Olsen twins movie was them doing detective things in a weird location that they're also trying to sell tickets to the zoo they're shooting at.
Like, I feel
it was that stuff.
I feel like Harriet the Spy would have been more their speed.
Closer, yeah. And that's just because, like, the vibe of an Olsen twins movie wasn't this.
Yeah.
It was a very specific vibe at the time. For the role of Harry Wormwood, I got a big list here. Bob Hoskins, Tim Allen, Joe Pesci,
okay,
John Goodman, Robert De Niro, Chevy Chase, Richard Dreyfuss, and Bill Murray.
What the fuck is that list?
What a spectrum of people to land on the director Danny DeVito. So,
something I mentioned this earlier is that in the book, Harry is supposed to be kind of small and ratty, and his wife is supposed to be the like big fat stay-at-home mom vibe. Like she's very mob wife, which is kind of the aesthetic they ended up going with, just like in the other direction. So I could see like Joe Pesci, and I believe Joe Pesci would be mean to a child.
Oh yes, he would be almost too mean to a child.
He would relish it.
At least I don't feel like Danny DeVito's gonna get violent with the child.
But Danny DeVito is perfect. He's the right level of wacky.
Yes.
And him and Rhea Perlman are just...
Because their chemistry is great.
Yeah.
But we could have had him and Catherine O'Hara, Bette Midler, or, Julie Kavner, Marge Simpson herself.
Of those three, I would go Julie Kavner, because again,
just for the bit.
The problem with Catherine O'Hara is she also had the stink of Beetlejuice,
Yeah.
Like that's a very specific vibe.
Beetlejuice was what, 80? Or was it 90? I'm just trying to think, because
88.
88. Okay, I thought it was like pre-89. This was in production from like 93 until 96. I think they bought the rights in 93 and had the script and everything. And it jumped from production house to production house before they made the movie. So, like, I wonder how many of these were from early in production considerations. Like the Olsen twins. I wonder if they were earlier in production than they were.
Yeah, because that's the problem with like this is you need someone who convincingly looks young.
Mm-hmm. But you also need a good actor.
Yeah, like... Mara Wilson is on the edge of looking a little bit too old. But because they do a good job of casting all the other kids to look like her age, you would believe whatever age they said they were.
Like, the whole cast now is, like, in their late 30s.
Yeah.
Which is great. They're all around the same age.
Yeah.
One last alternate cast. The FBI agents.
Oh my god. Stunt cast.
Danny DeVito was gonna call up an old buddy.
Oh no.
Maybe one of his twins.
No.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
They were not gonna
They were gonna put Arnold in as one of the FBI agents.
Oh my god.
I think Paul Rubens is great. Because he's got that fucking face.
Yes.
But Schwarzenegger would have been hilarious.
That would have been... Especially because if he's just like, yes, I am a speedboat salesman.
With his fucking Austrian accent?
Yes. Inexplicable. He's a cop, Dad.
One more casting thing. You noticed it when we were watching the credits. The Newt was played by 3 separate actors. Did you catch that?
I did. There were names for the Newt.
The Newts were Mr. Speaker, Sir Isaac, and Wayne. Have you figured out the puns yet? Mr. Speaker, Sir Isaac, and Wayne.
I don't get the Mr. Speaker one.
What are the other two?
I don't want to say them.
Say the puns, Cody.
Sir Isaac Newton and Wayne Newton.
And do you know who Speaker of the House was?
No, because I was blissfully unaware at that time.
That's right, you're aware and he's still there. Newt Gingrich.
Oh my god. These people don't die.
No, they don't. Oh, shit. There was an on-set menace. It was Pam Ferris. She stayed in character to scare the children.
Oh my god.
I completely forgot I had that. Mara Wilson, during the Little Bitty Pretty One scene where she's dancing, she was so self-conscious about that, Danny DeVito had the entire crew dance as well.
That's so sweet.
I always love when you have both sides of that coin on the same movie. Pam Ferris is tormenting children on set, so their fear is real on screen. And Danny DeVito is like, this is hard, and she's a kid, and it's awkward. There's 20 dudes standing here holding things. Everyone dance. We're going to have a dance party. Play the music. I believe the song they played was actually a song called Matilda. And then they changed it for the thing.
I'm looking at the My Neighbor Totoro poster, and it just makes me think of the filming of Pacific Rim. The little girl could not say Guillermo del Toro, so he gave her permission to call him Totoro-san.
Yes. Aww. So I don't have anything else. That was the bulk of my trivia. You recommend the book?
I do. I have to stand by the thing I said last time. I don't think I like Roald Dahl. I like Matilda.
I love the movie. It's
a good movie.
For our generation, it's seminal for like a huge chunk of our generation.
Yes.
And it was just like the stars aligning with like the home video market like kind of exploding at that time, because it critically acclaimed but deemed a box office failure.
Because it only made what, like $11 million?
It made more than that. It made more than its budget in box office, but not like much more. I think it made 11 million over budget. But the home video market, we rented it 4 or 5 times before we bought the thing, because we love that movie in our house.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. So yeah, definitely recommend it. If you're of a younger generation and haven't seen it, go fucking see it. Yeah. It's a treat.
It's aggressively 90s, but in like
the best possible way.
Yeah, it's very nostalgic. And it feels cartoony without being a cartoon.
Exactly. Now, you said that you don't like Roald Dahl, but you like Matilda.
Yeah.
But in general, you're not a fan of Roald Dahl. With the exception of the BFG, every adaptation we've covered on this pod, even including both adaptations of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I've enjoyed. I loved this movie. I thought James and Giant Peach was spectacular. Fantastic Mr. Fox, like I own on Blu-ray. You know, classics. So I wanted to figure out why that is. Like, why do I love these film adaptations, even though they're all essentially the same story that you're reading and not enjoying? And this is my second S-lit of the evening. Dahl's writing seems really bare bones, which allows auteur filmmakers to dress it in their styles. Right? So Wes Anderson made Fox like symmetrical framing. It's a quirky comedy. The distinctive, like, earthy color palettes. And he also fleshed out the character and the story more for a more mature audience in a film-going sense, not necessarily an age sense. Steven Spielberg, you know, he took the BFG and he put it in his trademark, like, magical realism, his sense of wonder. He's trying to recreate the successes of E.T. and Jurassic Park to varied success. Henry Selick, he took a road trip story, a very simple one, and he wrapped it in his darker visual style, and he blended animation and live action, which is what he does. Even Tim Burton, when he did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, he took a doll story that had already been iconically adapted, and he remade it in his own image, if you ask me, successfully. And Danny DeVito, it's a very distinct style, Matilda. It is very of its era, of its creators. What Dahl's writing lacks in depth, what his writing lacks in depth of content, it allows these creators to imagine more and to build off the structure and complete the work as a film. It's like, to put a metaphor on it, it's like moving into a house and adding your furniture. Dahl built the house, Wes Anderson furnished it, or Spielberg furnished it, DeVito furnished it. And I think that's why I'm enjoying the films, but you're not enjoying the books, and it's because who wants to live in a bare house?
Or it's kind of like playing in a sandbox. The sandbox is his ideas, and he has some stuff built in it already, but you can kind of shift around it and move stuff. I think that is why Matilda is definitely the longest of these books. It is over 200 pages. I also
How did you manage to finish in time?
I think it's interesting also that this is one of his last works, if not his last work. Because it really feels like not that he was building up to it, but it feels like other things that he learned in writing other stories. Both the BFG and James and the Giant Peach have that conceit of the story that you're reading is the story being written by the main character. This one, he didn't need that. This one is just, I'm telling you the story. I am the narrator. This is the story that is being told.
And it seems like this one has more depth as well in the story that's being told. It's not as simple as like a James and the Giant Peach.
Yeah.
It's up there with like Willy Wonka in depths of character and storytelling. And I wonder if that's just, somebody who's been doing this their whole life. This is the peak of their work. Because you only get better. You get better every time.
Yeah.
Or at least that's the goal, so. It just took him his entire life to be good enough to meet your standards.
His ghost is gonna come on me. It's fine. I don't.
Chalk is gonna write Cody.
Shut up, Dahl. At least I didn't cheat on my husband.
You better not have.
Honey, I don't even like you. Do you think I'm gonna find another man to cheat on you
I'm not
with?
worried about men. If you're also not worried about men, you can find our socials.
Well, what are we doing next?
Oh, yeah, what are we doing next?
I don't remember.
Next time out, we're doing a little ditty. We're gonna do a shorter season on how did we describe this season? Young adult fiction, poorly adapted.
Oh God.
So next week we're revisiting a tragic novel and film from our pasts, Aragon.
Ugh. Christopher Paolini, when I find you, Christopher Paolini. It's on site, motherfucker. It is on site.
For more on how on site it is, check out our social medias on the in the link tree in the description below. We also have an email address there if you want to shoot us suggestions for future episodes of the pod. We'll be happy to hear them out and do them. That's all I got, man. I don't know how to end these things. I don't know how to start these things either.
I could throw chalk at you. I'd have to get chalk first, though. You throw a book at you.
No, please don't throw books at me.
I'm gonna throw a book at you.
Speaking of books, it's a brand new episode of Soon to Be in Major Motion Podcast.
Now, don't make me get this right on.